Good morning, church. It's Reverend Ahmondra. And this morning I will be bringing you the message called Your Unique Path. But first, I just want to take a few minutes and go into prayer for all of those individuals who are experiencing hardships and loss because of the monstrous weather that we've been experiencing in our country. So let us just take a few minutes to go into the silence, knowing that there's one power and presence, and that power and presence is with each one of us, knowing that it is a power and presence of love. And as it surrounds our country, I'm knowing today that it is bringing comfort to those who may be suffering. I know that although there may be challenges ahead, that there is also help that will provide each and every individual exactly with what they need. I pray for those who are experiencing sadness or who are fearful or who are standing inside of health challenges. And I know for them perfect health. I know for them peace. I know for them wellness. And I give thanks for having the opportunity for all of us to come together collectively and send out this prayer energy, this love energy that surrounds each and every person that might be standing in a place that is not where they choose to be. I hold all of them in our hearts surrounded by love. And I release these words, and I release them knowing that everything is all right for each and every person. And I anchor these words by saying, and so it is. So, there are 7.6 billion folks living on this planet, and each one of us is endowed with unique gifts. The unique gift is one of expression. It's one of our being. It's a blessing for each and every one of us. Now, each of us has our own unique individual talents, and they are bestowed upon us at birth. But inside of our culture, we don't necessarily understand or know that. Now, inside of indigenous cultures, they understand and know that each new baby is born with a particular blessing that is theirs to have. And they use that to actually name the baby, to bestow upon that baby a name so that as the baby grows and develops, they understand and know that they are endowed with a special quality. In the Ghanaian culture, each child is named according to what the family would want for that child to be, for the collective family and for the community. So a child might be named Justice. They might be named Prosperous. They might be named Happy. They might be named Lovely. In the Native American culture, babies are named after the qualities of certain animals. And that naming allows that individual to know and understand that they are a powerful being. If you knew from birth that you had powerful special qualities, how would you feel? How would you live life? Would you have great expectations for who you were? Or would you be cringing in fear because you didn't think that you were good enough? No, you would know that you were good enough because you would have been told that not only did you have unique qualities, that you came from a power and presence that created the universe. And that power and presence was active and alive within you, and you could tap into it anytime that you chose to. When a child has that type of information, there are no limits placed upon them. We know that there's an invisible power and presence in the universe that we can use, and it responds to us and that we are connected to it. But when I first came into science of mind, I had difficulty comprehending what that really meant. I understood that each of us has special qualities, but I didn't understand that when I tapped into my personal quality, what I was tapping into was my passion, and that passion was flowing directly from the source. You could call it God, you could call it universal intelligence, you could call it spirit, you could call it nature. It is the creative power of the universe. Now, Ernest Holmes helped me to begin to understand what this force was. He used an analogy of plants, and this helped me comprehend the incomprehensible. Ernest Holmes wrote, "The roots through which the tree draws life are entirely invisible, and unless the tree drew on this invisible force, it would never flourish." Ernest Holmes reminds us that our roots are in the mind of God. Our individuality, everything that we are and everything that we do is rooted in this power. It was this claim on power that enabled Jesus to become a divine man while living on the earth. Jesus lived a passion-filled life, a purposeful life. He walked upon a unique path that was all his, but he also helped others to find their unique path and to walk upon it. If we think of ourselves as rooted in God and we believe divine power is flowing through us, it becomes easy to allow this power to support us. But we aren't taught that. So we don't know that we can relax inside of this power and presence and be guided, that there's an invisible force that is helping us create the life that we choose to live. Ernest Holmes tells a story about a cartoonist. This cartoonist had to create a cartoon for a syndicated newspaper every single day. And someone asked him, "How do you create a new cartoon every day?" And he told them, "I go into a room, and the only thing in that room is a table, a chair, a tablet, and a pen. And I sit there and I just wait. Sometimes I wait 1 hour, sometimes I wait 2 hours. But then something begins to happen. An idea surfaces, it bubbles up from within, and I simply begin to write." The cartoonist was tapping into, allowing that which is flowing through him all the time, tapping into that power, and then using that power to create. He was walking on his unique path, and as he created from his passion, he provided everyone else in the world the opportunity to enjoy what he created. Because it's not just about us and us walking on our path. It's about the fact that when we tap into our passion, it goes out into the world and blesses so many others. We often hear this term, finding your unique purpose or walking on your unique path. For me, I don't think we have to go searching for our unique path. I think we only need to identify that what we are passionate about. And when we identify our passion, we are automatically propelled onto our own unique path. And then we become a co-creator with God. As a co-creator, we build a better world. Our life purpose is that unique gift that is ours and ours alone to share with others. Now, our culture doesn't teach us this. They don't teach us that within us there's this power and presence that is ours and is uniquely ours. Our culture teaches us to look outside of us. But we don't have to look outside. It's right here, inside of us, growing, guiding us. We simply have to learn how to recognize it, how to sit quietly and connect with it, become a co-creator. Now, even though we have a uniqueness that is ours alone, we are connected to others. Anthropology and human evolutionary biology proved that all humans are of the same type, species, and kind. And in reality, all the various traits that we have are literally only skin deep. What appears to be huge amounts of variations is really masking a very low level of genetic diversity, meaning we are all the same under the skin, and the life that we live is generated by the same force. Now, when we recognize that we're all the same, that we're all living and being empowered by this one single source, we can begin to understand that when I walk upon my unique path, even though it feels like it's mine alone, it's not. It brings in everyone else. What I love and what I'm passionate about helps you. Ernest Holmes tells us that the reason that we deny this invisible force or fail to recognize it or see it is because it is invisible to the physical eyes. We believe if you don't see it, it's not real. But in reality lives inside of the unknown, the unseen, the invisible. In the Blue Mountains of Oregon, in the Maher National Forest, scientists have identified the largest living organism on the planet. It occupies an area of 2,800 acres. It's 3.7 square miles long, and it takes up the equivalent of 1,300 soccer fields. It is a single specimen. Now, it has been nicknamed the humongous fungus because it actually is a mushroom. It's a fungal. And on the outside, we see all these different mushrooms. They look like they're various species, but in reality, they're all from one source. That's a lot like us. On the outside, we look like we're all different and we're all doing different things. And we appear to be separate individuals, living our individual lives. We look different. We behave different. We express differently. But we are all connected. We are connected in the invisible. We draw our life from the same life force. Call it God, infinite intelligence, spirit, whatever you call it. It is what gives us our being. Now, in a way, we're like the humongous fungus, but then we're different because we have something that the fungus doesn't have. We have what I say is consciousness. And that consciousness has us make choices. Now, we may not have a choice about our body type, our skin color, our eye color, but we definitely have a choice about how we express. We can express our passion, and when we express our passion, we feel good about who we are. And that power flowing through us can be used for us to be an artist, a musician, a dancer, a teacher, a writer. we have a choice on how we express as individuals, even though we are all connected by that one force in the universe. Now, when we acknowledge that uniqueness and we understand that we're individuals, but yes, we're all connected, we stand upon our path and we know that we impact the lives of others, even when we don't know that we're doing it. When you step onto your unique path, and because you've identified your passion and you're passionately living life, the guidance that you receive from within will have you share that passion in a way that you impact others. And you may not even know it. For years, I thought that the only people who made really big impacts on the world were famous people or rich people or people who were on television all the time. But then I heard this story one time. This story changed my life because it showed me that an individual's life can be changed by someone walking inside of their passion, and that person walking inside of their passion may not even know. Years ago, I was sitting in a Narcotics Anonymous meeting, and a gentleman stood up and he shared his story. And he said, at one time in my life, I had lost everything, my family, my job, my home, and I was in the depths of my addiction. And this one particular day, I had just enough money to get on the bus. And I decided I was going to get on this bus and ride until the driver told me I had to get off. And when I went to sit down in this seat, laying in the seat next to me was a book. I picked it up. And that book was the basic text of Narcotics Anonymous. This gentleman spent the whole day riding on that bus and reading that book. He got off that bus and he found a Narcotics Anonymous meeting. And when he walked into that meeting, he saw others who had been where he was, and they supported him and helped him and guided him to a place where he moved from where he was into recovery and built a life. Now, whoever had that book, whether they left it on the bus on purpose or whether it was accident, it doesn't matter. The fact that them having that book, I knew that they were standing inside of the passion of recovery, that they were living their life from a particular way unique to them, and that power and presence that connects us all worked in such a way that that individual who needed that information received it. That individual who left the book by accident or on purpose, they might never know how they changed someone's life, but they did. And that's what I want us to walk away with today, that our passion puts us upon our unique path. And when we step onto that unique path, we receive the guidance from that power and source that gives us our life. We each have this power at our fingertips, and we can use it all the time, consciously, because we're using it unconsciously. But when you use it consciously, when you are aware that it's here and you can ask for guidance and follow directions, not only do you create miracles for your own life, you create miracles in the world. Now, when you don't use it consciously, you're still using it. The only difference is that you end up creating something that you may not desire to have in your life, and that goes out into the world. So I invite you to do something with your passion. First, tap into it. Then allow that power and presence that's within each of us, that's flowing through each of us, to guide you to where it is you are to go to exhibit that passion. I say that it's time for each of us to begin to walk to the beat of our own unique drummer. That's what time it is. And I invite you to step onto that path and then share with someone else how you stepped into your passion so that they can step into their passion. And if all of us steps into our passion, we will co-create a world with God that is filled with love, blessings. I add a blessing to these words, and I add a blessing to each and every one of you. Thank you.